Hi, my name is Melanie Baldonado, and I'm a stand-up comedian.
So are you single or are you dating?
I am dating.
And what does your boyfriend think of your stand-up, Melanie?
Which one?
Which one? Are you a mother?
No, but I want to be. Yeah, I mean, someday, like I want at least 2 kids. If I have 3, that's cool, but I definitely want to adopt a kid, and I want a dog, and I want to live by the beach, and I have a lot of wants. Of course, it's hard to get any of those when I don't have sex, not because I'm a Christian, because I am a Christian, but just because it's really hard to meet somebody that you want to be intimate with anymore.
And do you want children?
You just asked that, and I said, yes, I do.
Okay. So where are you in your career?
My stand-up career, I'm 4 years in, so I'm just above the point where I only do open mics and I get more than bar shows, but I do still do bar shows, so I get club shows, bar shows, I get to do colleges, and just a lot of comics that have been doing this for a long time consider me to be like a baby, and they're nice about it, but I get it. It's a long road.
Mm-hmm. And what's been your biggest gig so far?
I did Vegas, a really good, solid spot in Vegas, and it was cool.
And why comedy?
Comedy is the first thing I've ever done in my life where I thought, this is the only thing I ever want to do ever again. The only job. The first time I did stand-up, I felt like this is it. This is my calling. This is my passion. I had 3 minutes at the Comedy Store for their open mic, and I was eating crap for 2 minutes. Just nobody was laughing, and then at the very end, people started laughing, and I was like, this is it. This is it. So.
Do you ever get offended when you're introduced as a girl when you're about to go on stage?
No, I don't get offended because sometimes I think it's really, really sweet. They're like, your next comic is a lady. And I'm like, yes, I am. Thank you for noticing. And I think it's cool. I don't get offended by that. There's so much worse that can be said and has been said. I had one guy bring me up to, when I saw your next comic, I wanted to bang her. And I was just like, dude, get in line with the rest of the douches, and like, I'm gonna lock the door, deadbolt it, gorilla glue every single crack in it, have someone build a brick wall so that you can never get inside, and then I'll sneak out through the window and see the rest of the world without you. But it's just, don't do that.
Have you ever been improperly approached to get on a show?
Not to get on a show, but I've had bookers afterwards like kind of hit on me, and even if it's nice, it still doesn't feel that good, because it's like, did you book me because I was funny? Because then I feel like maybe I wasn't booked because I thought I was funny. Maybe I was just booked because I thought I was cute, and I would much rather somebody respect me for being funny.
So tell us about a time when you felt uncomfortable being in this boys' world as a sassy, pretty comedian.
I love when they're like sassy, pretty comedians. I think of myself as a smart comedian.
So you don't think it's a man's world?
Nah. No, I mean, I don't. I think that maybe in the past for some other female comedians, like for instance Joan Rivers talks about it, I think that once upon a time, yeah, it was so much more of a man's world, but there are a lot of females that have come before me, and thank you very much, Joan Rivers, and there's so many more, but thank you for kicking down the door. Sarah Silverman, because they truly did break it open for so many of us girls to come through, and I think it's awesome.
So have you ever dated or slept with another comedian?
Yeah. Like, not a lot. I know I just said it like, yeah, of course. No, I have, and he was and is a very cool person, and I wish for the best for him. I think that he feels the same way about me. We talked about things that we wanted and things that we saw for ourselves, not like together, but just ourselves. And I hope he gets everything that he envisioned, and I think that he is wishing for me to, and there's a lot of respect there.
Who do you consider to be your biggest supporter or hater?
Biggest supporter or hater? My family is incredibly supportive. Just, I can't. In fact, I'm going to say this too. My ex-boyfriend's family is incredibly supportive. Like, that's just, I mean, that'll touch your heart when your ex-boyfriend's family comes to your comedy shows more than once, and just incredibly supportive. I have one person, it's always the one who doesn't support you that talks the loudest, and it's one of my godfathers. He's very traditional. He believes that I should become a school teacher and get married. He thinks that what I'm doing is a waste. It's a man's role to take care of a woman, and like, that's what I should be doing. But one time I thought I was a genius, and he brought it up, and I was like, guess who else's parents wanted her to be a school teacher? Janis Joplin. And I didn't think that he would know who Janis Joplin was, just because he's not from this country, but he's so much smarter than that. He came back with, yes, and where is she now? And I was like, it's like, she's on posters, all right, with other legends. She's a legend. But he won. He's
what
cool,
about
though.
comedic enemies?
What about him? Do I
Yes.
have comedic enemies?
Mm-hmm.
I hope not. I can't care if I did either, just because comedic enemies don't matter when you're a stand-up. What matters is that you go on stage and you make an audience laugh. What matters is that you speak your truth and you make it funny. And that's all that counts.
And what inspires your comedy?
What inspires my comedy? Irony and love.
And so how do you feel about other female comics, Melanie?
They're really cool. I get along with a lot of them. For the most part, I have really positive experiences. I don't see them as competition. I see them as other people who have the potential to be really funny, and I also see them as other people who I have the potential to have a lot of fun with.
And do you have any favorite comedians, male or female?
There's such a long list. Okay, Richard Jenny, Dom Herrera, Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, Maria Bamford, Sarah Silverman I mentioned, Jimmy Schubert, Robin Williams. Oh my God, the list can go on. I feel like I'm missing people. Did I say Brett Ernst, Dov Davidoff? Ted Alexandro. I really like the style of Mark Normand. I feel like I'd say Tommy Did I say Tommy Davidson? Good. The point is, there's a whole lot. Dave Chappelle, of course. Mm-hmm. Because it's just going to go on just exciting. It's just never going to stop. There are a lot of people who I admire for what they do.
And tell us about your first road trip as a comic.
Let's see. It involved Arizona, 110-degree weather. We were 3 white comics, the black comic sitting in the front seat, and at one point on the 5-hour drive, I thought about the freedom fighters down in Selma and everything. I was like, Arizona is the one state that everybody says is so racist, and I've got a black dude in my passenger seat. What if we get pulled over? And they're like, what are you doing there with that? And then they insult him, but that's what happens when you're driving for 5 hours straight on the 10, and you start to have these random panic thoughts, and then you remember that's probably not going to happen. You drive a Volkswagen Beetle, you're the least threatening person on this road, you're going to be fine. We ran over a little wrench this big, it was cut through my tire. Let's see, a guy put on a spare by us giving him a beer because he was actually not racist and really cool, and he didn't want for me to pay him. He just wanted a beer, and that was so awesome. And I woke up earlier than everybody the next morning to get the tire fixed and to get us home.
Tell us about some of your challenges as a female comic.
It's the same. I think it's the same with me as with every other comic, male or female. I think that it's hard to get paid stage time. I think that It's hard to find your voice. I think also it's also just a challenge among what we do is sometimes you meet people and they're so inauthentic, but they're nice to you to your face because maybe you'll become something, so they're nice, but then it's like you know that they don't like you, so you just don't talk to me. You know, you just walk away feeling like you don't have to say hi. If there's 50 other people here, it's okay. Don't be forced into it. It's okay. And yeah, that's it.
And what do you love about the entertainment industry?
I love that it's full of people who are chasing their dreams.
And what do you hate about the entertainment industry?
That there are so many people who are full of crap? No. Yeah, there are. There are. You don't really know what's real so many times, and people are like, hey, I'm working on a project. Anybody who's working on a project, until they are talking to your agent or until they have something on paper or until they actually have funding, everybody's working on a project. So don't get happy and don't feel flattered that somebody saw you by finding you on Facebook. I'm working on a project and you'd be perfect. There's just so much BS. I think that as far as comedy is concerned, though, I don't understand how Los Angeles has set up a place where you could come and watch stand-up comedy for free, especially in a land of $6 lattes and 21-year-olds driving BMWs. I think that it's a wonderful show. I think that the talent is there, and how anybody decided that the talent value was free is beyond me.
What are 2 things you'd change about the industry?
2 things I would change about the entire industry?
Mm-hmm.
Reality television and 24-hour news channels.
You know this is for a reality television show, don't you?
Totally. And unfortunately, there's so many of them made that that's all I get callbacks for. And I want to be a comic, but I do understand the value of getting TV, plus it pays, and that's nice. Reality, this is what I would want. If I got onto this reality television show, one, I would hope that it shows comedians in a really positive light and doesn't put us against each other in a dramatic fashion so that we have to fight over petty BS. But if this is one of those shows that does that, then I would want the role of the person who gets along with everybody. You know how there's always that one? Just because, like, I just don't want to fight, dude. Life's too short. And especially to do it on camera. That's awful.
So the industry, it says that a comedian can't be funny and pretty. What is your opinion of that?
I think any industry member who says that must have fallen asleep like Rumpelstiltskin. Or I think that's who it is. Is it Rumpelstiltskin? Or is that the one that the point is, one of them fell asleep for years, right? Just took a nap, fell asleep for years, and then woke up and thought everyone was the same, like Austin Powers. Okay, Austin Powers, when he went into the cryogenic freezer and then he woke up and he had to watch the film of everything that had happened since he had been asleep, and he was sitting there crying. And yeah, that's when he learned that the lady from the Mom and the Papas died. And all the point, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, everybody died, and it must be that way for them, because the fact of the matter is there have been very famous, funny women in place for a long time. Tina Fey, Chelsea Handler, Chelsea Peretti just put out this amazing special called One of the Greats. I'm in love with it. She is one of the greats. And anyone who says that must have just not been present for the past 25, 90 years.
What irritates you most about female and male comics?
I think I talked about when people are two-faced, but that could be anybody. So specifically comics. When a comedian is on stage and they pause and they say, "What else did I want to talk about?" I was like, "Why are you asking me, man? You're supposed to do." I check out. Because to me, if it was important for me to hear it, they would have remembered it.
All right, lastly, why are you unique, Melanie?
I think that every single person is unique. I think you're unique. I think the sound person is unique. I think everybody is unique. And in that way, is anybody actually unique? And then I guess that's why they say you're unique in your own way. And that's the point of unique. Because of this, I think, well, here's the deal. I used to think that I was unique because of my name. Like, who else on earth could have the name Melanie Baldonado? Because my last name is not very popular at all. But then, actually, there is another Melanie Baldonado. She's my Facebook friend. She invited me. She's a pharmacist. Congratulations on your master's, lady. She's a pharmacist. And so there's one of me. There's one of my name, and there's probably one of my face somewhere, too, because they say there's someone else in this world that looks exactly like you. What's funny, though, is when it comes to Facebook, sometimes she likes one of my posts, so it says Melanie Baldonado likes this, so I look like a complete narcissist. But in reality, I did like my post, and that's why I posted it, but like, I didn't double like my post. She did. It's fine. Maybe I'm not unique, is what I'm saying. Maybe I'm just a person.
What would you tell someone who's thinking about going into comedy?
I would say, if you love it, go for it. Like, you'll know as soon as you hit your first few open mics, but it's not for the squeamish. It takes a lot of waiting, a lot of time, a lot of hearing bad comedy. It takes a lot of writing bad comedy. It takes a lot of hard work, not eating, your gigs being, the idea that it's all glamorous is ridiculous, and if you got into it for the glamour, and you get the glamour first, I say my hat's off to you, congratulations. But I didn't get into it necessarily for the glamour. I got into it to make people laugh, and that includes the people that are out, the 5 in the desert, or that includes everybody. Is that it? Any more questions? That's the end? All right.
Thank you for coming in, Melanie.
Why, thank you for asking me these questions, kind sir. Cool. We can cut. That's take 1. Hang on.